So welcome everyone. Welcome to today's practice session. It is the full moon today. We're also just about entering into a new year. And so we want to use this energy of the cosmos, so to speak, and also of the timing of the year that we're in right now to usher us into something new. And the last time that we had a session together, we talked about a bit about this idea of the solstice and moving into the light and coming into the light. But we also talked a bit about the 5 acts of God, which I want to talk about for a moment in relation to the cycle of the moon, because this is going to all tie into our practice for today that we'll be doing to really release anything that we no longer need in our lives, stuff that we've had over the course of this past year and even prior to this year, and what we're moving into for the year. So let's very quickly review the 5 acts of God. So the 5 acts of God are to create. So the first act is creation. Then we have maintenance or sustenance. So the act of sustaining or maintaining. Then we have the act of destroying or dissolving back into nothingness. And then there's the act of concealing. And the act of concealing is really the aspect of ourself that conceals ourself from ourself. So our samskaras, our stories, our mental constructs, our unresolved or undigested mental and emotional parts of ourself that need to be digested or released, right? So those conceal ourselves from ourselves. And then we have the act of revelation or revealing, to see the true nature of who we are, to have insight, to have intuition and wisdom. And we worked a lot over the past month with intuition. So if you've been coming to our practice sessions, then you have quite a bit of experience and practice with cultivating that intuition. And if not, that's fine. You can go back and rewatch any of our practice sessions to get a little bit on that. So let's relate these 5 acts of God: creation, maintenance, destruction, revelation, and concealment, or concealment and revelation, to the cycles of the moon, or the cycle of a moon in the course of a month. And now we're in, today is our full moon, so that we're in the last full moon of the year and the full moon for the month. So if we look at the cycle of the moon, we can relate it to these 5 acts. So we have the new moon. Of course, we always begin with a new moon, which happened 2 weeks ago. And new moon, of course, is darkness. We're in complete darkness. We're in the void. We're in limitless possibilities. It's the no thing, the nothing place of the void. We move from the new moon into the waxing moon. So this is the process then, or can represent, we can think of it as representing the process of creation. And in creation, there's revelation. There's the revealing of something. Something is coming to light, which happens, of course, in the full moon, which is what we're at today. And full moon is the fullest potential, right? It is also can represent maintenance. For a moment in time, the fullness of full potential is maintained. We're in full light. So that's where we're at right now. And then we go into the waning moon. the waning moon in relation to these 5 acts can correlate with the dissolution or the destruction of that which was created, and also the concealing. So we return back. So it's good to note that none of these are good or better than one another. It's just a cycle. We're constantly in this cycle, and these 5 acts are constantly in motion in our life. And we can use the energies of those 5 acts to bring forth what it is that we want to bring forth in our life, and then also to release what it is that we want to let go of. So in today's practice, we're going to be using that metaphor of those 5 acts and the energies of the full moon that we're in right now. And we had talked about before we were in the Great Conjunction just a week ago, right? And using that energy to bring forth or to release the karmic patterns that were in our way, and to usher in the new. And now we're going to be working with the energies of the cosmos of the full moon to assist us in our journey forward into the new year, and this passage from the old and releasing of the old and into the new. And we want to think of this full moon, and this time and this energy of this moon is illuminating all that has transpired over our past year and lighting our path into the future. So we'll be using a specific type of energy to purify, to release and let go of that which we want and need to release from our life, from our emotional and mental bodies, and to bring forth that which we want to bring forth. And I invite you to think of this as our practice as a fierce commitment to your own spiritual growth. You are in this practice being a spiritual warrior, right? So let's go into our practice for today, and knowing that this full moon that we're in right now is initiating a really a strong and a positive momentum towards positive change. So with that, let's move into our practice for the day. So I invite you to get settled somewhere that you won't be disturbed, somewhere where you have just a freedom of space and distraction, closing your eyes, and hopefully seated on a chair, or you can be in meditation position on the floor. Either is fine, as long as you have a tall and straight spine. So let's begin. So just getting settled. And as you do, just allowing yourself to notice all the different places where your body meets the surface underneath you. And noticing the support you feel by the surface underneath you. And bringing your attention to your breath, noticing where your breath goes as you breathe in, and where your breath goes as you breathe out. And just becoming aware of all the ways in which your breath is almost like a bridge between your outer world and your inner world, and allowing yourself with each breath to draw a little more closely into your inner world and into that place where everything that you've ever known or sensed or felt or dreamed or experienced is recorded. And as you come into this place, just allowing all of your inner senses to begin to open, your sense of sight and sound and smell, touch and taste, but especially allowing your sixth sense, that intuitive sense of just knowing, to begin to open quite widely as you perhaps become aware of the presence of a guide, and noticing where this guide is, if they're in front of you or behind you or to the left or right, and just knowing that we're coming here today to bring to completion all the lessons of this past year and to use the energies of the cosmos to usher forth your highest intentions and visions for the coming year. But for now, just noticing how relaxed and at peace that you feel in the presence of your guide, and just perhaps noticing that your body is starting to feel very relaxed as you let go of any tensions that you might be holding in any of your muscles, especially in your face and jaw. Just letting any tensions that you have to be released through your breath, maybe scanning your body, bringing your awareness to your neck and shoulders, arms and hands, letting go of any tensions that you're holding consciously or unconsciously in those muscles of your upper body, including your chest and abdomen, scanning through your hips and thighs, lower legs and feet, and just noticing that as you release these tensions from your muscles and your tendons, that your entire body can just relax. And as your body relaxes, your mind relaxes. And as your mind relaxes, your body relaxes even more. And noticing how all the tensions in your body and mind are just dissolving away, and as they do, you feel safe and at peace as you're in the presence of your guide. So just bringing your awareness into the location of your third eye, your spiritual center. And as you do, sense or imagine that there's a staircase in front of you. And just allowing yourself now, as I count from 10 to 1, to travel this staircase, knowing that when we reach 1, that you'll be at a door that leads into your heart. And we're taking this staircase down into the sacred space of your heart, where you'll be offering all that is ready to be released back into creation, to be absorbed into the void. And that you'll also be working with your intentions to create whatever it is that is calling to be created in your life and ushered forth with the assistance of the energy of the divine. But for now, just allowing yourself to find your feet on this staircase and just noticing what the stairs are made of, if they're made of stone or wood or some other material. And 9, finding your hand on something like a guardrail. And 8, knowing that you have complete control over this entire process. 7, and knowing that you can actually allow yourself to go quite deeply now. And 6, just allowing yourself to let all of your inner senses to open quite widely. 5, allowing your inner senses of sight and sound and hearing, taste and touch to open quite widely, and especially allowing your intuitive sense to be quite open now as you 4, focus on a beautiful door as you find yourself at the bottom of the staircase. 3, in this beautiful door that leads perhaps to a place in nature, as you 2 allow your conscious mind to take a well-deserved rest as you walk through this door, focusing more intently on this place, perhaps in nature. And 1, just allowing yourself to step into this place in your heart, where you feel comfortable and at peace. And as you do, just allowing yourself to take a deep breath, noticing the fragrance of this place and letting this smell, this fragrance bring you into even deeper contact with this place. Perhaps noticing any sounds in nature and the quality of light, maybe even feeling a gentle breeze across your skin, but particularly noticing just how much this place is a part of you and how much you're a part of this place, and just taking a moment to allow yourself to rest in this connection. And now, feeling completely calm and relaxed here, you'll be taking a path that leads you towards another door into the sacred space of your heart, the inside of your heart, also known as the Holy of Holies. And I'm going to count now from 1 to 4. And as I do, just knowing that when we reach 4, that you will have arrived into the sacred space of your heart, the inside of the inside, this place where you will initiate and facilitate the release of any and all karmic patterns that have come to completion in this year and usher in your vision for the new year. So just allowing yourself now to 1, feel your feet on the path, noticing what this path is made of, whether it's made of sand or dirt or pebbles or some other material, and 2, seeing the door to the sacred space in your heart and knowing that you'll be remembering this entire experience, and 3, allowing your conscious mind to take a well-deserved rest as you trust all of the impressions that you're now receiving and opening this door in front of you. As you 4, find yourself now in the innermost sanctum of your heart, the Holy of Holies. And just noticing how it feels to be here. The quality of this space, the inside of your heart. Noticing the particular quality of this space. Perhaps it's quiet and still, but it has a distinct quality different from your heart space. And just trusting any impressions that you're receiving and knowing that your guide is here to support you in any way that you need support. And feel the loving presence of your guide and know that you can call on them if and when you need them. But for now, just sensing or imagining or envisioning that there's a very large pot in front of you. It's the type of pot that's used for cooking things, and it's sitting over a fire. And just using all of your inner senses to notice what this pot looks like. The shape, the size, the color. Trusting all of the impressions that you're receiving and noticing even that you can feel the warmth, the heat of the fire that this pot is sitting on. And now, with the help of your guide, sense or feel or imagine that you can begin filling this pot that's sitting on top of this fire with all that's ready to be let go of. Everything in your life that has come to completion. any relationships, any situations or circumstances that have fulfilled their purpose and that are ready to be let go of. And just put them into this pot. And if you aren't sure, just asking your guide to help you. Now continue to add to this pot any thoughts, attitudes, ideas, stories, or mental constructs that you're ready to let go of. And put them into the pot as well. Anything that you know that doesn't serve you anymore, or that has come to completion and is ready to be let go. And again, if you're not sure, you can always ask your guide to help you and assist you in this process. And now finally, adding to this pot any emotional baggage that's ready to be let go of. And perhaps even allowing yourself to feel any feelings that need to be let go, taking your time in doing this. Any feelings, emotions of fear, not being safe, any guilt or shame or blame, any feelings of powerlessness, anger, resentment, or rage, any jealousy or judgments, denial or criticisms, or any other emotions that are ready to be released and let go. Put them into this pot. And so now this pot that's sitting in front of you on a fire is filled with everything that has been completed and that's ready to be let go of. And in just a moment, you're going to offer all the contents of this pot back into the void, where they'll be dissolved and transmuted back into nothingness, back into the void. And you're going to do this by sensing, feeling, and imagining that there's a direct path upward from the sacred space of your heart into your spiritual eye. And the path runs along the central channel, which parallels your spine. You'll be using your breath and the sacred mantra, Hong Sa. Inhaling Hong upward into the spiritual eye, and exhaling Sa downward into the sacred space of your heart. You'll be sensing, feeling, or imagining that each time you inhale Hong, the contents of your pot are carried upward, lifted upward by the flames of your heart and offered into the spiritual eye and are immediately dissolved back into the void. And each time you exhale, sa, a beautiful golden thread of light flows back downward, down the central channel into your heart, replacing the contents of your pot with this golden light, the light of pure potential. So now beginning this process, inhaling Hong, exhaling Sa, asking for help from your guide if you need it. Offering the contents of this pot, using your power of visualization and imagination and mantra in this sacred act of offering up all that has been completed, all that needs and wants to be released. Continuing this process of offering through the inhale, Hong, and exhaling, Sa. Using the flames of your heart to lift your offerings into your spiritual eye with Hong, and receiving back into your heart, Sa. A beautiful golden thread of light, replacing all of the contents of your pot with this golden light of pure potential. And just continuing this sacred process until it feels complete. And as this process comes to completion, just noticing that you now have a pot of golden light in front of you, which has the power to create anything that you intend. So with care and consideration, insight and wisdom, begin to place into this pot of golden light all that you wish to bring forth into your life in the coming days, weeks, months, and year, calling forth all that will support you on your path, on your spiritual journey, calling forth all that you need from the outer world, whether it's people, connections, situations, or circumstances, and calling forth all that you need internally, whether it's courage, or power, decisiveness, insight, compassion. Imagining that you can place all of these intentions with great love and care into this pot. And if you're not sure, just ask your guide to help you. Knowing that you can place anything, any intention into this pot of golden light. Giving yourself permission to ask for or to intend whatever it is that will support you in your journey. And now, in the same way that you offered up your pot of everything that you wanted to let go of, you'll offer up this pot of things externally and internally that you want and need to bring into your life. And in just a moment, you'll be offering all of these intentions that you've placed into this pot of golden light back into your spiritual eye, where they'll be ushered forth into creation by the creative powers of this golden light. And sensing, feeling, or imagining each time you inhale Hong, your intentions are lifted upward by the golden light and into your spiritual eye, where this golden light becomes a brilliant, radiant star of creative energy that will usher forth your intentions into reality. And each time you exhale, Sa, a beautiful white thread of light flows back into your heart, filling you with a sense of inner joy, peace, and fulfillment. So now, just beginning this process, Hong, Sa, asking for help from your guide if you need it. As you offer up your intentions using the creative power of imagination, visualization, and mantra, a sacred act, until you feel that this process is complete. And now as you feel this process coming to completion and feeling completely filled with a sense of inner joy, of peace and fulfillment, it's time to return back. But before you do, just take a moment to see if your guide has any messages for you. And just be open to receiving the message in any way, whether it's a thought or an image or a sound or just a feeling, trusting any impressions that you might be receiving as a final word of wisdom from your guide, the completion of this process. And then taking a moment in whatever way feels right and appropriate for you to thank your guide for their support and guidance. As you begin to find your way back now, the same way that you came, and allowing yourself, with each number that I count from 1 to 10, to ground this entire experience in your being. 1, just allowing yourself to return now, retracing your steps out of this sacred space of your heart and along the pathway through the door to your heart and back to the staircase. As you too know that you can come back here at any time to perform this sacred process. And 3, for now, just returning back the same way that you came up the staircase. 4, bringing this entire creative experience with you as you 5, ascend back up the staircase. 6, closer to the surface as you 7, perhaps begin to feel the surface underneath you and all the ways in which you feel supported by the surface. And 8, bringing your awareness back to your breath, noticing how your breath is like a bridge between your inner world and your outer world. And 9, allowing your breath to bring you back out into your outer world and into your room as you 10, stretch a little bit and find yourself back in your room, opening your eyes whenever you're ready and remembering everything.